Hello? I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask me what I'm doing. Listen, it's not that I don't know what I'm doing, but really, the truth is, whenever this world has come to wanting chickens and, hens in particular, the cost of eggs and all that, I'm not even here for the eggs. I'm here for the love. And yet, love alone does not conquer all. And so what I've been doing with these 12 new lady hens each day is I'm just grabbing whoever I can and giving a little bit of love and trying to keep their environment as clean as I can. I have been asked what I'm doing. So let me see if I can say this in a nutshell really quick, okay? What am I doing for you girls every day? Number one, I'm keeping a very clean coop. I am not used to 12 birds in a coop. They poop a lot. So I'm in here at least 2-3 times a day cleaning out their poop, laying fresh hay. So you've got to have a lot of hay on hand. A wet ground is only going to create problems. These girls did not come to us in the healthiest of conditions, and yet as I tell people, when you rescue, I didn't rescue these birds, I paid for these birds, okay? But when you bring in birds that are not in the healthiest of conditions, you have to pay careful attention to keeping their grounds clean. I add to their water Vet RX, which is something for their respiratory. These birds came from a overcrowded situation, a laying hen house, a lot of birds. This is why they don't have their feathers. I also yesterday treated my hens for mites. Mites. This is something that can really affect the flock, my entire flock, and I'm not here to have any birds come into our farm and affect the rest of our flock. Because these birds were from a laying hen house, they were vaccinated. Praise the Lord. My vet was so happy to hear that. So, it's day by day. I raised their feeding stand up. Having the low feeding stand just accumulates food on the ground, which accumulates more moisture and wetness, and we don't want that. I add the mother apple cider vinegar to their water every day. I also add fresh minced garlic. Cut up garlic. You don't have to mince it, just cut some garlic up and throw it in there. These are all things that are good for birds. The biggest thing with birds is their respiratory health. I used to work for a veterinary hospital for many years who was an exotic vet who treated birds. So I do know respiratory health is very important. They're all flocking together. Remember the saying, birds of a feather flock together. If you see one of your birds is not flocking with the rest of the flock, you want to pay attention to them. One of the questions I had this morning was, does my bird have water belly? I don't know. It is trial and error, hoping that that error part does not end in a death. That's part of the farm life, is that we live and we learn, and the biggest thing about having any farm animals is that more often than not, you will never have help when you need it. And you most often will be alone. What do you think? Are you okay? You're starting to kind of chill here a little bit. You're chilling a little bit. Okay? I'm gonna let you go. Good girl. I'm not here to bond with these girls right now, and yet this is a form of bonding. Me just sitting in here in the coop and holding one of them at a time and letting them loose so that the other birds can see I'm not doing anything to hurt them. This also gives me time to look at them. So, I mean, they all look terrible. They look terrible. But for the most part, I think it's health related, and these are things that can be easily resolved with high value feed. No cheap shit here, all right? There's a lot of shit in this coop here, Excuse my French. You don't want to feed cheap food. I add also to my birds' feed every day thyme, oregano, crushed red pepper, and turmeric. Spices just from our regular cabinet. The mother apple cider, crushed or minced garlic to their water. You know I got to get you Nub, though. You know I have to get you because you are my favorite. I do have a favorite, and her name is Nub, and that's because as humans, we are only able to focus on one at a time, and when you have 12 birds that all look alike, but one doesn't have a tail at all, that is my favorite, and her name is Nub. So let me try to catch Nub here.